Hello and welcome to Ferrari World Abu Dhabi. This is home to the fastest roller coaster in the world and a bunch of other Ferrari related stuff. So let's get inside and have some fun. I'm here inside this huge indoor theme park. Obviously everything here is pretty red because that's the colour of Ferrari. And I'm just heading down to Formula Rossa now, the fastest roller coaster in the world. Launches from 0 to 147 miles an hour. And it is practically a walk-on. And I'm still running 2 trains, as you can see. One of them is going with like 6 riders on it. So my first ride of the day on Formula Rossa, they're the fastest roller coaster in the world, and it's good. I wouldn't say it's anything spectacular. Now, the launch is fairly intense, as you'd expect, but I don't find it like any punchier than, say, Stealth, for example. It has also developed a bit of a vibration. As you go at that speed, it's not what I would call a rattle, but it is definitely a kind of feeling as you traverse the track. Now you've got a few airtime hills in there. I wouldn't say they really give a lot. There is a fantastic head chopper as you come around one of the bends. The support feels like it's only about half a foot away from your head. And so even when you know you're not going to hit it, you can't help but duck. Now one thing that's also worth mentioning is that all riders, regardless of row, must wear goggles. I think it's to prevent any sand from going in your eyes. And if, like me, you're wearing glasses, it really did pull them tight to my face. So I think future rides, I might take the glasses off just to make it a bit more comfortable, because it was not the most comfortable experience in that regard. But there you go. It's the fastest roller coaster in the world. It's good to say you've done it. I actually did it back in 2019. I don't think my opinion has changed dramatically since then. For me, despite the speed and everything, it's maybe a 7 out of 10 ride. It's a sort of a B grade coaster. And part of that is just down to its age as well, I think. It is those old style Intermin trains, so while it does have lap bars, you're still very kind of crushed in. There's not a lot of room. I'm gonna go get a couple more rides because it was basically walk on. I was ushered straight into a row, so that was quite good. So I just had a second ride on Formula Rossa, that time at the back. So I can confirm that removing my glasses did make it a far more comfortable experience in that regard. However, on the back, that really vibrates. It is just like sitting on a washing machine. Now, I think that's probably a combination of the sheer speed, the fact that it has maybe worn a little bit over the last decade or so that it's been open, but also just the sheer wind resistance you're facing at that speed, because it's not like it's a dead, unsettled day out here. There's like wind and sand swirling around all over the place. So you're kind of meeting a lot of different forces coming at you all at once. So it's a decent ride, but it's there just to hold the world record. And it's not just the high thrill attractions here. They do also have plenty for all members of the family, including this junior GP here with a random helicopter in the middle there. And much like Ferrari Land in Spain, they also have the Viaggio in Italia flying theatre. I think I'll leave that one till later because it's average. And of course, being Ferrari World, they do enjoy displaying their cars, including some real old school stuff here. This one from 1924. Kind of mad that even back in the 20s they were able to get Mesut Özil as a test driver. So I do also have these Ferrari simulators. I believe this is an upcharge. Looks kind of jerky, if I'm honest. This guy enjoyed it though. Look at him celebrating like a champion. So I'm going to do Turbo Track next. This is another Intermin LSM launch coaster with the awesome LED wrap around the side. And it launches you up over the airtime hill and then out of the building, up that giant spike there, where you do a little twist and then head back down. So you can actually ride this facing forwards or backwards, so it gives you a slightly different experience each time. So I think I'm going to go and do both. I can't imagine I'll have a massive queue. Let's go ride Turbo Track. So lockers are provided for loose articles. You just stuff your stuff inside and then the guy locks it for you. So I had a forwards and a backwards ride on Turbo Track there. It's a pretty fun ride. The launch isn't the strongest. You get a little bit of airtime over that hill there, but the highlight's the spike, especially when you go hit backwards, so you're facing down. You get some quite nice hang time there, and it's quite an entertaining ride. Now, if you're sitting in the middle, then you are in what I call the anxiety seats, because you're just facing the person who's facing the other way. The bonus of that is that facing forwards, I got to see the fear in the eyes of the man who was sat opposite, and he looked genuinely terrified up that spike. So I guess there is some advantages to sitting in that seat. Looking out over the whole of Ferrari World from up here. One good thing they do here is the three main attractions all have viewing platforms that give you some fantastic views of the ride. So it's good that they do that, because a lot of indoor parks you can't see a thing. Just saw another guy walking around with a GoPro on a stick, so I said snap, and he looked at me like I just slapped his dad, so I won't do that again. So this is taunting me. Unfortunately, Mission Ferrari is closed for extended maintenance. It is actually advertised on their website, so I was aware before I came out that would be the case, but I came here in 2019 and got this view. I'm back here 4 years later, still getting this view and still not getting the ride. So that's a shame, but that is the way it goes sometimes, unfortunately. And here I have a little car ride that goes around this beautiful miniature version of Italy. Love the rapids there, that's awesome. It'd be good if they actually put a little miniature rapids ride in there too, wouldn't it? Just for, like, I don't know, squirrels or something. So the third of the big Intamin coasters here is Flying Aces. This is a wing coaster with a cable lift, so it zips you up there really quickly. As with all rides here, lockers are required. Flying Aces. When I came back here 4 years ago, I had 4 rides on this, and every single one I could only ever get an outer seat, and I found it really wobbly. It was fun and enjoyable and intense, but it was hard to fully get the best out of the experience in those seats. And I had 2 rides, both in the middle, and it is such an improved experience because it's a little bit smoother, it's a little bit more graceful, and you just get to enjoy it so much more. So I think that's comfortably the best roller coaster here. There's some really good forces there. It's intense in places. It has one inversion, which is like a heartline roll. It takes that at good speed. Yeah, that's a really, really good roller coaster, and the pick of the Intamins here at Ferrari World. The very bright sun is currently sitting right above the lift hill, so as you come out of the dark station and the shutters go up, you go up the lift hill and you just get blinded straight away. So you're up and over that lift hill before your eyes have a chance to adjust. So it is a bit of a sensory overload. So that is something to bear in mind. But I'm looking forward to doing it in the dark. It's nicely lit up at night, so we'll go back and do that one later. First, I think it's time for a bite to eat. I do like how they put these random lakes in the middle of the park. Your waterfalls over the back there, another one there. Turbo Track over the top in the distance. What I will say though is that although it is nicely presented, it is by far the lesser themed of the 3 parks here on Yas Island. Certainly SeaWorld and Warner Brothers have way more wow factor. But I guess if you're going to insist on your entire colour scheme being red, it does limit you slightly. So Junior Formula Rossa going around here. A Zamperla family coaster. This is reasonably good fun, very similar to Eel Racer at SeaWorld. So what I have found out here is a lot of the parks use quite similar hardware. So a quick look around the Ferrari Champions Museum there, just a display of all their old F1 cars that have finished first in various Grand Prix. Lots of information on the wall there regarding the drivers that completed those races, etc. I wasn't feeling super hungry, so rather than waste money on a large meal, I just grabbed a banana and walnut cake and a Coke. That's come to 32 dirhams, which is just over £7, so fairly standard for a theme park, I guess. I will say that some of the food here seems quite expensive and some seems quite reasonable, so I guess it depends what you're looking for. So having just had a bite to eat and filled myself a cake, I thought I'd come do something a bit more gentle like Benno's Great Race. However, the wait time says 60 minutes. What? Everything else here is walk on. How has this got a 60-minute queue? I might go and investigate just to see how accurate that is, but that seems insane. Fancy a lie down? Well, I think that wait time's a lie because I can see the station from here. I wonder if someone swung that round to 60 by mistake. And if it's actually just putting everybody else coming off because it's actually a walk-on. Benno's Great Race is quite a fun little trackless shooting dark ride there. I say shooting, but you actually have to do some quite different actions like cutting spiders' webs and picking up bees and putting them into pots. Not sure that's very good for the environment, but never mind. Also, completely smashed everybody else that was on my car there. There was 4 of us on there, absolutely wiped the floor with them. It was a little bit embarrassing, actually. Anyway, let's carry on with my day here at Ferrari World. I am kind of tempted to have a little go-kart race. Let's see if I can find the entrance. It looks like it's down here. Also, there's just a random little platform here. Not sure why. Let's see, you can go up and look down. I wouldn't say that really adds much to the experience. So unfortunately, Karting Academy is an upcharge. That's 60 AED, just around £12. I'm not really a fan of upcharge attractions, so I'm not going to be doing that. So that's 2 upcharges here at a park which ordinarily would cost around £75 to enter. I don't think that's very good at all, personally. So instead I think I'll take a slightly more genteel car ride. Presuming that's actually included in the cost. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm just being facetious. What is quite cool though is they do have walkways that go right down into the middle of this ride. So you can go down and mosey right in amongst it all. Or parents can watch their kids go around. I think that's quite a nice touch. There's little fact sheets here about the areas that you go through. So there is actually a little bit of a queue for this. I'm not sure if I fancy waiting that long for a child's car ride. Especially one that I've ridden before. And especially as there's flying aces in the background there with no queue whatsoever. I think flying aces wins. Oh, Mission Ferrari, you do taunt me. So what I didn't mention about flying aces before is it does have an incredibly well themed queue line. You are required to leave all loose items in the lockers, which are just over there. However, they do have places in the station where you can leave small items too. So I'm going to try and take my phone into the queue line just to show you how amazingly themed it is, and then I can leave my loose articles just to the side. Let's go do flying aces one more time. So onto the phone and into the queue line for flying aces. And this is all themed around like sort of 40s and 50s squadrons. It is so cool. I mean, I'm not sure if you can see it 'cause it's quite dark, but there's a crashed plane in a tree there. Such awesome theming. And there's a guy there stuck in his parachute in the tree with a slightly creepy projected face. It's kind of weird because hardly any of the other queue lines here have much effort, apart from Benno's Great Race. But like Formula Rossa and Turbo Track are just fairly basic. And then you come in here and they've gone all out. It is quite dark in that section though, so hopefully you saw some of that. If not, I'll just edit it out. And a little bit of a queue. It did say 15 minutes actually, but they should eat through this in no time. Walking and filming, I'm not paying any attention to where I'm going, which led to me walking into a restricted area and having panicked staff members go, no, no, no. So anyway, yes, rode that with two guys from America who were coaster enthusiasts as well. So I had a little chat there about coasters and credits and stuff. Really good fun ride. I think Flying Aces is the standout roller coaster here. And while Rossa will always get sort of the headlines, I think that's yeah, it's comfortably the best roller coaster here. It's a lot of fun. It's intense without being too much. Yeah, Flying Aces. One little tip for Flying Aces too is as you come over these airtime hills, if you just lift your feet off the ground, you do get a really nice lift out of your seat, which is great fun. So right here in the middle of the building, you see the track of Turbo Track as it goes up through the centre there, out into the sky. Let's see if we can time it perfectly for a bit of footage. Also, not sure what this is all about. Doesn't seem like the most practical way to drive. That is a crazy support structure. And out here is the entrance to Mission Ferrari, which is very, very closed. And then you sort of have these back streets of Italy around here. This is like one of the nicest themed areas of the park. So you almost wish they'd applied this sort of theming to the rest of the park. So much of it feels quite kind of empty. Yet around here, it's like being back in one of the other indoor theme parks where you are kind of surrounded by structures and buildings. I mean, this is really nice through here. Do more of this, Ferrari World. Now, I had a feeling there was another dark ride here, and Speed of Magic is it, Driving Dream. So I'm going to go and ride this before I head up to Fiorano GT Challenge. I'll be honest, I'd completely forgotten about this side of the park until literally just now, so quite glad I wandered up this way. Speed of Magic there was a reasonably entertaining dark ride, kind of that Spider-Man type system, alternating you between screens and some fairly lackluster practical stuff. So timing was off a little bit in some places. You'd reach a screen slightly too early and it'd be black and then it would flicker on. Also, the beginning and the end of the ride are just in complete darkness. Probably could have done some more with that. It's fine. It's one of those that I feel was probably a lot more impressive when it opened, and now it feels a little dated, but still well worth doing. Anyway, heading down towards Fiorano GT Challenge now, down this little road full of cars.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Play the games and to win our big toys.
No, thank you. I won't get out of my suitcase.
It's deflatable.
It's deflatable.
There's other way to
It's fine. They try their hardest. A deflatable soft toy, okay. So Fiorano GT is dueling coasters. I am aware that on some occasions when it's not busy, they do only run one side though, so we'll have to see. It is quite impressive through here though. Feels like it takes you right outside of the main park and into its own little section. I do like this little road here, it's quite cool. So it does look like we're only running one side of the track. So Fiorano GT Challenge, have you ever built something on Planet Coaster and then just forgot to bank all the turns? Basically that. It's a Mara coaster that has numerous launches which take you straight into turns that are not banked at all, so you just get massive laterals slamming you into the side of the train. It's fine, it's nothing special, a bit of a weird choice here I think. Also, they're still being very, very strict on loose articles. I mean, it's not that quick, it doesn't invert, but even wearing glasses with a tie, that wasn't suitable, and they still insisted on making you wear goggles. So I just took my glasses off in the end because I'd rather experience the ride without nose pain. But yeah, I think they enforce it a little too strictly here. You know, I'm all for loose article policies, has to be safe, I absolutely appreciate that. But I've ridden over 250 coasters and I'm yet to lose my glasses.
Roar. Subscribe to Luke Theme Park Adventures and I won't eat your legs.
There's a lion being sick into a fountain. Beautiful. So Made in Maranello is a sort of dark ride that takes you through the process of building a Ferrari. It's just about the only ride here I haven't done, so I'm going to pop in there and do this. I don't recall this being particularly exciting, but it's something to do, isn't it? Made in Maranello is very much a ride that happened. Pretty bland, pretty boring, to the point that the ride op, as we got off, actually asked the guests sat behind me if they were okay, because they obviously just looked utterly deflated by the experience. So flying aces at night looks pretty sexy. So that concludes my day here at Ferrari World. That's becoming a bit of a catchphrase, isn't it? It's a fine park. Flying Aces is a world-class coaster. Formula Rossa is really fast. And once you've done those two, you're left with quite a lot of average attractions, some okay dark rides, and not a lot else. Also, I do think, theming-wise, this does feel like a step back from the other parks out here on Yas Island. That being said, I have had a fun time here today. I've really enjoyed myself, got plenty of laps in on Flying Aces, and I'm going home now, tired but happy, and really pleased with my time here in the United Arab Emirates. So thank you for watching my experience out here. Thank you for joining me in exploring the United Arab Emirates. I'm gonna go back to my hotel and sleep before a long flight back to Stansted tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.